And this is an exciting one because I think this is the first one that people get like really, really, really excited about early on.
Yeah, this is, I often talk about the bowling point or bowling point. However, I know I say things weird, but really that first $100,000 of investments, that's a dandy. That means you are picking up traction and some amazing things are happening.
Now, when we talk about invested assets, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about IRAs, 401ks, taxable brokerage accounts, HSAs. We're talking about investments that you have sitting out there, liquid dollars that are working for you. And that first 100,000 is so important. And while it takes a long time to get there, when you do get there, it feels pretty awesome.
Well, we often say the path to wealth is surprisingly simple, but that's far from easy because there's a lot of people that quit. I mean, if you don't give this enough time to start reaching traction and reaching milestones, you don't realize the power of compounding growth. So this actually, when somebody reaches their first $100,000 of investments, it shows that they've mastered the behavior of actually building wealth.
That's right. First 100,000 doesn't happen on accident. Nobody kind of just stumbles into that. If you've been able to defer enough of your salary, enough of your income to build up $100,000 of assets, you have been exercising your discipline money, your discipline muscle. You've been doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. So it shows that behaviorally, you're on the right track to continue in your wealth building journey.
Also, like this is kind of that first step on the critical mass. If you're looking at, hey, can my money work harder for me? Check this out. When we go into how long does it take to build it, and then how does it grow upon itself? But we created kind of a case study to show people.
Yeah, this is so interesting. We said, okay, if we just think about someone who saves $10,000 a year, every year, and they earn 8% on average, what does their wealth building journey look like? How does it play out? Well, when you actually look at the journey, it's pretty amazing, right? So when you think about the first $100,000, takes about 7.6 years. And again, this is if you're saving $10,000 a year, earning 8% per year.
So
on your
around
investments.
a little over $800 a month for the first 7.5 years. That's what it takes to grow it to 100,000. What I find amazing is that you'll notice the next 100,000. So to get you to 200,000, 4.7 years. The next is to 300,000, 3.4. But here's the big takeaway. And I love, if you're watching, now listen, if you're on the podcast, if you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you, go to YouTube, look at this chart, because we'll even probably create some deliverables that go out on social media on this. What's amazing is the same 7.6 years that it took to get to that first 100,000. The exact same period, actually a little less, 7.5 years, your account will grow from 500,000 to $1 million.
It's amazing.
Did you hear that? And by the way, here's the other thing I like about this stat, because we have this going all the way to $1 million. And you heard that the last, the first third of this the first quarter of the last quarter does five times the work.
More.
But here's the part I think is interesting, and it ties to the stats. We have heard us say to be a millionaire, the typical journey is 28 years. We got that data from Ramsey Solutions in their millionaire study. But here's what the math works out perfectly. If you added up how many years it took saving this same $10,000 a year, it is right at 28 years. So this can be your journey. The milestone to 100,000 has a lot going on. Get there as fast as you can.
Wealth building is slow, but it's something that picks up speed. However, if you want to speed it up, if you want to influence it, you can. If you vary your savings rates, we just told you that if you're saving $833 a month or $10,000 a year, it'll take you a little over 7.5 years to reach $100,000. But if you're saving $1,000 a month, you can get to $100,000 in 6.5 years. If you can save $1,500 a month, 4.5 years. If you can save $2,000 a month, you can build up to $100,000 in 3.6 years. So again, your savings rate early on in the journey is what you want to focus on. And this is why we put so much emphasis on getting to the boiling point. The bigger that you can get that base, the faster you can get that base there, the faster your money will start turning over for you.
Savings rate is definitely greater than rate of return in the beginning, getting that behavior right. And I don't mind sharing with you guys, I took a mini celebration. My wife and I went out to eat when we hit $1,000 a month back in our 20s of savings. That was a celebration point. And you can see it in the data here. The savings rate, the bigger your shovel is that's going into your investments, the faster and the acceleration factor is going to pick up for you. take advantage of
Now,
that.
well, look, we've noted that it is a slow process, though. Now, you can influence it, but it's still going to move slowly. So you need something that's going to make sure you stay motivated. Well, one of the things that we use is every single year we do our net worth, and we use our net worth tool. You can go check out either the template at moneyguy.com/resources, or you can check out the whole tool at learn.moneyguy.com. Because what we want you to see is, hey, the hard work I'm doing today, even though it feels slow, when I look at it 12 months in the future, it's paying off and it's starting to build and it's starting to build and it's starting to build. So if you're not tracking your net worth, you should start today so that you have the staying power to stay motivated.
Let's talk about milestone number 2. This one's exciting too, because your money is saving harder than you do. What do we mean by that, Bo?
Yeah, you just said something right there. Your money is saving being the important word here, harder than you do. And what we're essentially saying is that your portfolio is growing by more than your contributions, by more than you're saving to the portfolio. So here's a really easy example. If you invest $5,000 per year, but your portfolio this year grows by $6,000, we would argue that your portfolio is adding more to itself on an annual basis than you are. It is literally saving even better than you can. Pretty exciting stuff.
Well, let's put some numbers to this, because this was a great suggestion. I know when we were writing the show, in the show meeting, we were talking about how does it feel like you're doubling up your Roth IRA? How about when your Roth IRA is $87,500 and then you earn 8%? Not only did you contribute $7,000 to your Roth IRA, your Roth IRA earned $7,000. So it's almost like getting 2 Roth IRA contributions in a year, because your money is saving just as hard as you are.
If you can even grow that a little bit, if your portfolio gets to the size to where it's $287,000 and you make 8%, well, all of a sudden your portfolio made $23,000. Well, that's the 401k max. Your portfolio by itself is like it's maxing out a 401k. It's absolutely insane. And what I love is when we talk to some of our younger folks around the office, they said that when they reached this milestone, this is where they felt like the hard work was starting to pay off.
Yeah.
This is where they said, okay, I get it. My money actually can work for me, can do some of the hard work. And then you start to get excited. Then you start to get motivated. Say, okay, well, man, if I maxed out my Roth this year, what if next year, how do I get to where it maxes out both Roths? Or how do I get to where it gets so exciting when you recognize that you have an equal partner in this endeavor? You're putting money in, but your portfolio is also putting money in.
Now, I know there's going to be some younger people who might not have reached this point yet. When they see aspirationally $287,000, they're like, I'm not there. That's okay. We have a great resource for you. If you go to moneyguy.com/resources, go look at our wealth multiplier calculator. I mean, this thing, you can actually, I like to use this as motivation. You put in whatever your age, whatever amount that you already have invested, it will show you, and even have a graphic interface to show you what your wealth multiplier is. Get motivated, because this is pretty exciting stuff.